everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and joining me today as my co-host is Sabina. And I really hope you guys are having a better day than I am today. What have you done today, Sabina?
Oh, I had a bad enough day myself. I had to run all over creation and get my car picked up and get my tags renewed, all that good stuff. But I got it all done. So I had a very full day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had a full day, but unfortunately, some of the things were not a good thing. So I think we have our guest on the phone, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up, and I'm going to introduce him. Tonight we welcome multi-nominated actor Matt-Cedeno, and I hope I'm saying that right.
How's it going? Yes, you're saying it perfectly, actually.
I did? Good. Thank you.
Yep. That's a little tilde and a little Peña pronunciation. Perfect.
Oh, good. I do know a little bit of Spanish, and I know when you have that little squiggly thing over it, you say it a little differently.
There you go. You're ahead of most.
I have my co-host online as well, and her name is Sabina.
Hello.
Sabina.
Sabina.
Sabina. That's unique. That's cool.
Thank you.
How
are you?
Sabina? I'm doing fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Well, I'd say you've been mighty busy lately. I want to say congratulations to you and your wife on the birth of your son.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that actually was the reason for the first postponement on that original interview that we had set.
Uh-huh.
She literally had broken, her water had broken that night into the wee hours of the morning, and we were laboring at our set time before. So timed that perfectly.
Well, we will forgive you this time around because what an awesome time for you guys. And this is your first child, right?
First child, yep. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
yeah,
all I can tell you is that from a parent of 4 children, enjoy them while they're little because they grow up really fast. So
it's crazy. He's 3 weeks today, and literally has grown inches already and pounds. So I think typically in the first 2 weeks, the goal is to get him back to his birth weight.
Right.
And he's already like 3 pounds at least over his birth weight and just growing like a weed. He doesn't fit like in the palms of my hands anymore. He's already like, I feel like a toddler practically.
Oh.
It's crazy fast. Everybody always says that, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And it is literally the fastest thing ever, and it's just begun.
Yeah, exactly. And it's right before your eyes. And you get to a point in time where, when they are a toddler and more like maybe into the 4 or 5-year-old range, and one of your friends or family will come over and say, oh, my gosh, has he grown? And you're looking like, really? So there's a certain point in time where you stop noticing it as much.
Got it. Yeah, that hasn't happened. Maybe because it's so brand new right now. It's like I feel like he takes a nap and he's a different little dude when he wakes up.
Right.
And I was like, who are you? Where was the little baby that I just, put down? Crazy.
Well, I'm really happy for you both. It's such a blessing to have children, and I'm just glad everything is okay and he came out all healthy.
Yeah, everybody's healthy. A little sleep deprived, but healthy.
Yeah. Have you been changing diapers?
I've been changing diapers like he eats like a machine, and then as a result with that little body, it just passes through. That was another thing that people warned me about. They said, hey, you're going to go through about 14 changes in a day. And I thought that had to have been impossible. Like, how is that humanly possible to have to, 14 times in a day? And it's so true. I would say 14 at least.
Yeah. Well,
something
what goes in must come out. You know how that goes. So.
Yeah. And does it ever come out? Man, does it ever. And do you have boys, Sam? Because as a boy, I'd seen this on, what was the movie where there was like the 3 dads or whatever?
Yeah.
I want to say it was Tom Selleck and Steve Guttenberg or
right.
something like that. And there was that scene where the little boy just starts spraying everywhere.
Yes.
That is so true. That happens to me like every single day.
Really?
You
Yeah.
got to
not a little
perfect
bit
the
of
art.
cheese. You do. Like I try. Like I end up ultimately just using my hand to kind of cover it. You know what I mean? And you just squeeze on my hand, but not before it gets everywhere, like my shirt.
Right. Well, what you
walls.
do is when you pull back the tabs, you keep your hand in the diaper over it, and then you grab the new diaper, and you slide it under, and then you pull the other diaper off, and then you pull that one up real fast. So I have 3 boys. Yeah, I have 3 boys and a girl, so yes, I know how that works.
You got some training. Okay, I'll take your advice. I just thought he had to be clear of like, you know, so you wipe him down and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that little moment where he's naked and you're like putting the other one to the side and wiping, and that's when he takes advantage. He knows it. I see him like laughing at me.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
No dummy.
I think so. That is too funny. Well, you'll have a lot of good stories like that. So I look forward to hearing them if you put any of them out on Twitter. So keep us updated.
You got it.
Well, moving into the direction of your awesome career, I have to first bring up Sunday's episode of Devious-Maids because it was off the chain.
I'm glad you thought it was off the chain. Yeah, surprise.
Definitely some big surprises. And it's funny because Sabina watches it, but she wasn't watching that day because she was babysitting. And then another friend of mine on Twitter, too. And so I told Sabina, you have to watch for 4 oh, my God moments, and 3 of them have to do with Alejandro.
Yeah, she was making me want to watch right then and there, but I unfortunately had no choice and I could not watch. But I have watched, and let me tell you what, she was right.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I figured the interview might be a little more interesting now anyway, so now that some of the storyline has opened up. Yeah. I was eagerly anticipating that episode. I didn't know how it was going to be received, or you know what I mean. It is a pretty good surprise. As far as I could tell, people weren't really forecasting that so much, right?
Oh no, no.
Like blindsided, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually said, "Oh my God," out loud instead of thinking it in my head. You know. You know, first was the back hair, and that was, you know, kind of like okay. And then when you said, you know, you wanted to meet your boyfriend, and that was an oh my God, and then the third oh my God was your boyfriend was Peter Port, and I about died.
Oh, do you know Peter?
From Y&R, from Young and the Restless.
Oh, from Y&R. Okay, that's right. He did do that. Got it. Yeah.
So at least you picked a good-looking one.
Right. Well, I didn't really pick them myself, but they did a good job, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did. So many shocked people. Yeah, my Twitter was kind of, you know, really lighting up with the back hair, first of all.
Yeah.
That was the first kind of, oh, my God, and was it real? I got that so much. Like the prosthetics or art department must have done a fantastic job in making it look real because there was a lot of people that thought it was real.
Yeah. But usually if a person is hairy like that, they're hairy all over their body. You know, it's not just their back. So I wouldn't tend to think that was real unless you had been, as your character, only getting rid of the hair on your chest and that. So, I guess. Right.
Well,
can you imagine walking around with that?
No, I couldn't. And then the funny thing is, the whole time that we were shooting that, there's actually a guy, one of the set decorators, I think it was, or one of the PAs on the show, was that guy. Like, he literally, we didn't believe it at first. He ripped off his shirt when I was doing the scene, and we did a comparison side by side, and it was very close. He had that much back hair. Yeah. Coming over his shoulder, under his arms, like he was a mini little werewolf.
Yeah.
So it can happen. It's true.
Yeah. Well, my husband is hairy, but it wasn't as bad as that. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's just crazy.
Pretty extreme.
Now, what were your first thoughts when you read the script about coming out as gay?
Well, I knew earlier in the season they actually were kind of flopping back and forth as to whether or not. I mean, there was always some rumblings from the beginning, not when I auditioned, but afterwards, shortly afterwards. And then I think by the 4th or 5th episode, one of the executive producers came up to me and said, so we're not going to have Alejandro be gay, at least not this season. You know, I was a little in the dark as to the direction that they were going to be taking him. And then, voila, all of a sudden, I think they changed their mind for whatever reason. I think they were wanting to tighten up the season a little more and have a lot of the storylines come full circle instead of leaving everything for the next season. So I wasn't blindsided. I knew there was a possibility. They had just, the last that they had told me, though, was that it wasn't happening that season, and then it was, and I was, you know, like, okay, here we go. Let's do it. You know? So, the back hair I had no clue about, and that was kind of a surprise. I didn't really get it at first. Near Rosalind, we were both kind of, you know, she texted me immediately afterwards, and she was like, are you dying or what?
Oh.
And I was like, a little bit. I don't get it. So we were both kind of afraid as to how that would play out. And then when we were shooting it, we kind of got the reaction of the crew and the producers and stuff and could finally see the funny. But at first it was a little eyebrow raising, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can definitely well imagine what our faces were like and the shock and disbelief, and you know, it's just there's absolutely nothing wrong. Nobody is, you know, against it, but it's just a shock because you were portrayed more like, you know, a romance for maybe one of the even Rosalind, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And well, that's how I interpret it, you know, that maybe you guys would eventually get together. So, but no, I guess not. You get Peter instead. So did you know Peter before he got the part?
No, I met him there in Atlanta. They flew him out to Atlanta. That was the first time that I'd met him. And that was it. Super nice guy, but I had not met him before.
Well, I think you need to practice together since you're going to be a couple, so.
Exactly.
Unless all of a sudden in the next season they say, ha, it was a joke or something. I don't know. I guess we'll have to watch.
Yeah, I have not heard anything like that at this point. So the next couple of episodes will be very kind of revealing. The storyline they're going to tell me, I can honestly say that I have not seen another show really kind of cover this. So it's unique, but it's a much rumored about topic in Hollywood. So just kind of stay tuned. I think it's pretty cool, and it's a great cliffhanger for the next season.
Yeah, there was actually a fourth, oh my God, at the ending of Sunday's episode, which was the ex-wife that hung herself at the party.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening. I mean, it's a show that keeps you on your toes, and you don't want to miss a minute of it, and I think that's probably why the network picked up season 2, which we couldn't be happier about.
Yeah,
yes,
thank
definitely.
you. I agree. Mark and the writers, they do a tremendous job. I mean, a lot of people know from Desperate Housewives. He's got a knack for storytelling. He's really good. He somehow has that perfect blend of humor, mystery, and drama. Just kind of perfect blend. He's
I couldn't agree more because I watched Desperate Housewives too. So, and I love that show, and I literally almost cried when, you know, that ended. So thank God I have Devious-Maids.